The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Sicilian Corner, winner of the Italian Heritage Media Award, with your hosts, Tom Zappola and Mike Lamazzo.
You know, the things I do for you.
For me.
For you.
For me.
I'm on the IL. I get out of a sick bed to be with my pal.
You could have done me a favor and stay home. You could have done me a bigger favor. Get on a plane and go to Florida and get out of my hair.
Hey, Chrissy, by the way, I was walking in. I noticed your car is running.
Oh, did you? Did you notice? Are you the one that noticed? He's trying to throw me under the bus.
You're trying to keep it warm?
So, she walked in. We're sitting here having a nice conversation. She left her car running.
That happens.
It's never happened to me.
It's got the push start thing, so I'm. This is the second time in the last month that this has happened.
And it's so quiet.
The first time I'm like, okay, I'm just going nuts. Second time I'm like, maybe I don't know whether maybe I'm pushing the push start fob or something by mistake or what, but hey. I'm 99% certain I turned it off this morning, so I don't know why it was on.
Hey, listen.
What?
Not for anything. You don't look good.
David, do I look okay? No, seriously.
You look okay.
Do I? I mean, do I look sick?
Do you like the color of ash?
It's. I mean, it's a color.
If Chris Chestis came by right now from Catadella's funeral home, he'd be measuring you.
All right, listen.
And I mean it.
Before we bring in David,
how do you feel?
I feel
Tell
good.
me the truth.
I feel fine. You know something? Do you ever see Monty Python in Search of the Holy Grail?
Yes.
David, you remember the scene, Bring Out Your Dead? That's Lamazzo. That's Lamazzo. Wow. Bring out your dead, right?
But I'm not dead yet.
That's right. Just before we bring in our guest, an old friend, Dave Struffolino, Struff from WBZ, I found something out that I'm a little embarrassed about. When I'm in Florida, and you come in, you're in the studio by yourself.
Yeah.
You bring them breakfast?
Every week.
Yeah.
I don't like you. See, there's the difference. I like them. I don't like you.
So, and I'm embarrassed now.
Why are you embarrassed?
That, I've never brought them
he's a
breakfast
cheapskate.
in. So you know what I'm going to do? As solidarity?
I can't wait for this. You're going to ship something from Florida?
No. I'm going to have an Egg McMuffin before every show, and we can all eat breakfast together. On camera.
I feel like there's a trick in there. He said, I'm going to eat an Egg McMuffin.
I heard
Not,
that.
I'm going to bring everyone an Egg
I'm glad
McMuffin.
you
He said, I'm going to eat an Egg McMuffin so we can all have breakfast.
All right.
Hey, listen.
Tom Zappola, Mike Lamazzo, my big brother here, Mikey. Don't forget, you can watch us on, you know where to go now. You can go to any platform, Alexa, YouTube, Facebook. We're on every platform. So, with that being said, we have an old friend that we're bringing in. We
haven't seen him for years.
Haven't seen him for a long time. Our old pal, Dave Struffolino. Some people know him as Dave Struff.
Yep.
Dave, everybody knows David. David is the traffic voice of WBZ Radio. Been doing it. David, how long have you been doing it now for?
On WBZ this time, I did it years ago, and then more recently since like 2017. So just say from 2017 on.
2017, the traffic. Now, we remember the days of Joe Green. That was a long time ago.
WBZ.
Now, David, he used to be. You're not in a helicopter, correct?
I am sometimes. Yeah, I'm one of the fill-in people for the helicopter.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I know Joe. He was in the helicopter just about every day, wasn't he?
Yeah, and I've heard so many wild stories about him in the helicopter.
Emergency landings and all kinds of stuff. As a matter of fact,
they rescue people.
Right, I think he was involved.
Somebody
in
was
rescue.
caught in the Merrimack River on a rock or something. He went and got him out.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I have a very dear friend, Struff, that had a helicopter, and he chartered it out to WMUR up in Manchester, New Hampshire, and every time there was an emergency, hikers getting stranded and
they would
stuff,
go get him?
They would contact him, see if he was in the area, and he'd go, and He's got some beautiful shots of rescues. Absolutely incredible. I have to tell you, though, a helicopter is so freaking expensive. If you figure out per hour what it costs to run that thing, it's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling.
So, David, is the BZ helicopter in the air every day?
As long as weather and maintenance things are not in effect, and the helicopter will be up every morning and every afternoon.
And that's Christine Eck is in the copter a lot.
Kristen Eck is the normal helicopter reporter, and I'm one of the fill-in persons when Kristen's not available.
So let me get this straight. You have a pilot that flies the plane, and you do all the talking on air, or whoever happens to be in the helicopter.
Right. Where Kristen or I or another guy, David Cedrone, we're in the back seat, and we have a whole bunch of equipment. We have banks of television monitors because we also feed down video that all of the TV stations are able to pick up on in case we happen to be over something that they want to look at, and all kinds of broadcast equipment and buttons to push. And sometimes it can be kind of crazy because we have to be pushing too many different things at the same time. If one television station wants something at the same time, we're on the radio and we got people talking in our ears at the same time, going live on this channel, and it happens to be time to be on traffic on the threes. So we have a lot of moving parts at sometimes.
You know who I used to really like to listen to? Joe Morgan.
Oh, Joe was great.
Joe was fantastic. He did that for years. He was one of the pioneers.
David,
how about drones? Why don't you use a drone?
Some cities do use drones. You can certainly see what you're doing with the drones, but you don't have the person on the radio talking about what they're looking at, obviously. So for a television point of view, maybe that's good to just show the video of something, but to have a person on the radio, live traffic on the threes, it's maybe not so good.
I just thought that we could save some money by not using the helicopter, use the drone.
Well, first of all, it's not your money.
I know, but we can give him a raise.
Well, that's a good point.
I'm trying to help you out, Struff.
Hey, David, so when you're not in the helicopter, take us behind the curtain. You're at the studio, I'm assuming, right?
We have studios and we have producers. We have walls of monitors of cameras all over the place, and scanners to listen to all the different police and fire departments and DOTs and the highway helper vans that we see on the road.
So how do you put your narrative together so quickly? Because you do it.
See?
No, I mean seriously, you do it flawlessly.
That's a good question.
Well, I wouldn't say flawlessly. I mean, it sometimes like I like to look at everything all the time. So I'm always looking at all the cameras as I'm live on the air to try to give them most literally up to the second information that I can, which sometimes it even confuses me as I'm looking at something, and because I know I'm going to say, this is going on right now. It's right here, right now, and they'll, whatever's going on, left lane, right lane, or whatever. And then as I'm ready to talk about it, or as I'm talking about it, it's suddenly changing, and it's like, okay. And on the radio, I don't necessarily have an unlimited amount of time to talk about
exactly.
things. But here I am doing a play-by-play like a sporting announcer.
Exactly.
And then I find out, I'm taking up far too much time, and I still have a commercial to read.
I'd like to know how you got into this gig. What's the background? How did you worm your way in here?
Well, you were with BCN for a while, weren't you?
Yeah, a long time ago. I was a producer on the old WBCN morning show, The Big Mattress.
Oh, sure.
And over there, I met an old traffic reporter to the Boston area, Eli Scherer, who used to be Eli Wicked High Eli in the BCN copter.
Yeah.
And oh gosh, I'm trying to even remember because this is so far back. And then he left to be part of a traffic company called Smart Routes. And Smart Routes, I joined him at Smart Routes. We had a telephone system where you can call the Smart Traveler phone number. You want to listen to traffic on 93, you just punch in 93 on your phone and you get information specifically only about 93, and whatever other routes you want. And so I started doing that with Eli early 90s, like 1990, 1991, something like that. And through Smart Routes, I got an airplane pilot's license, fixed wing, not helicopter, but fixed wing pilot's license, because I would go up in the Smart Routes, Smart Traveler airplanes. And just one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. And in the mid to late 90s, I don't know, memory's kind of hazy and foggy, I started doing some part-time weekend fill-in stuff on WBZ during that time, and also traveled the country helping to set up other offices in other cities doing traffic, and just I don't know, I don't even know how to explain it.
When a helicopter goes up, like say, I don't know where you keep the WBZ helicopter, but do you have to file a flight plan with the federal agency, with the aviation?
There are plans filed, but to be honest, since that's outside of my scope as the reporter, I don't know exactly to what extent they're doing it.
You mentioned
for me.
You mentioned a little while ago about the Encore and your mom. Sometimes in the morning, you look out that 24th floor window, and you're looking toward the Zakin Bridge, and there'll be at least 4 helicopters in the air.
I'm sure.
And I say to myself, but how do they know where everyone?
I know, that's a good
I was
point.
just curious whether or not you had to file a flight plan.
Well, when we get that close to the city, the pilot's in constant touch with
Everybody
air traffic
around
control.
Okay.
Yeah, and there are times when we might not be able to get into someplace where we want to be because air traffic control limits us and tells us that we just simply can't for whatever reason. There can be a variety of reasons, and obviously we just have to do whatever ATC tells us.
We are chatting with Dave Struffolino from WBZ. David, another question: like when you're reporting the traffic from the studio, are you in the same room as the the reporter, whoever's doing the news, for instance?
Well, not in the same room. We have different rooms. There are a variety of different studios, and over the years, things have changed. Like when I was first hired, we were in. When I was this go around, we were still a CBS company and CBS Radio, and we were at the CBS TV building in Alston, where Channel 4 is still located. Mm-hmm. And then when iHeart bought us, we moved over to Medford, and all the iHeart people are in a couple different buildings in Medford.
That's kind of an easier commute for you, though, right?
Oh yeah, because I don't have to go through and. It's much less time.
So you're not leaving your car in Wellington Circle anymore and taking the T in?
No, and really, even to take the T over to Alston, that really wouldn't have been an efficient way to go. Although I do kind of miss around this time of the year, around the holidays, on Storrow Drive, or next to Storrow Drive in the river, there's one of the boat clubs, I believe, that has a sailboat lit up with Christmas Christmas lights. So I kind of miss seeing things like that. It used to be, when no traffic, it was a nice ride, a relaxing ride along the Charles River.
Very cool. It's funny because I've been listening to WBZ my entire life.
Me too.
I think BZ really caters to as far as from a strictly a news standpoint. I love it. I think it's very good, very accurate. And when I listen to your report, there is the same. You hear the same. There are little buzzwords or that you always use, like I don't know, Neponset, the lane drop, the levered connector. What else?
Ponkapog.
Oh yeah, Ponkapog.
Yeah, I love that.
Ponkapog.
Yeah, I love that.
Those are great. I mean, you use
the gas
them
tanks,
and you just roll with them. The gas tanks, right?
So, Dave.
Well, a lot of them are because I'm old, and because I've been around here for so long. There are times that when I've slipped and I've referred to the O'Neill Tunnel as the South Station Tunnel, which that hasn't been a thing since the Big Dig, really.
Right.
I think I've done that maybe twice in the past 5 years, which I shouldn't have done that at all because that hasn't been that's been decades or that's a lifetime ago but I'm old.
David, do you ever
my excuse? I'm old.
Do you ever jump in? Have they ever asked you to jump in if a newscaster is ill, or have you ever had to do kind of like all of a sudden get thrown into a different situation on the air?
Not so much jump in, but not to replace, but to help and augment. Absolutely, I'll do anything that I can, especially like in the helicopter when I am, or Kristen, or our other person, when we're over any kind of breaking news. It doesn't have to be traffic related. It could be a fire scene, or anything that's news related that we can help with, because we're looking at it, we're seeing it. We're right over it. We'll absolutely go on and do whatever we can. And even times when, because I'm looking at a wall of camera monitors with literally dozens of cameras on each monitor, I have, sort of the bird's eye view there as well. And so I can give a better description sometimes of what might be going on. So I'm happy to jump in and help out however I can.
Can you ever work out of the house, or is that impossible?
I absolutely can work out of anywhere. I'm sure I could work out of your studio. You have a fantastic setup there.
Yeah, we love it. We absolutely love it. Welcome to
this is a sweet
second.
Not as sweet as what you have.
No, but wait a second. Can we start doing a Sicilian Corner traffic report? We'd have to pay you though, right?
I do demand quite a large salary.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, that's out then, because we're on a very, very.
He's got a unique job.
Where's my pay? We're on a shoestring budget here. You haven't gotten paid today.
People are very slow in paying.
Yeah. Oh, really?
December's the worst month to try and collect.
He's pathetic. He's pathetic. All right, David, we got about a minute left. Let's switch gears for a few minutes. We all go back to the days of all things Sicilian.
Yeah.
That was an interesting time in our lives. You were very instrumental, and your family. Actually, how long was All Things Sicilian? How long were they in business for? About 3 years, 4 years?
The timing, even that's also fuzzy because it was so
drugs.
long ago,
it's all
but yet
about
it
drugs.
Still doesn't seem that long ago, but yet it was a short period of time, but it seems like longer. But I can't even really tell. But when I drive by the old building on South Union Street, or drive by where we were for a short time by Sal's place, right. I have so many fond memories.
I know there really were. There was some great memories.
I mean, it was great, and your show really, obviously, it came around during that time.
Well, actually, the show started because of the business. Originally, the show was called All Things Sicilian, and Mike and myself and Ned Leone, we kind of developed
was your co-host. And when you were stuck, you'd call me.
Right.
But you wouldn't pay me.
I wouldn't pay you because you were in your goddamn pool with a cell phone in your head.
You think it's easy?
Something, Chrissy, listen to this. When the show first started, I had another co-host. His name was Ned Leone, and David.
God bless his soul. What a wonderful
gone.
Man.
Dave will attest to this. So we used to do a segment called Mike's Cultural.
So now you know. Oh, Cultural Corner first.
Mike's Cultural Corner. He used to do it from home for 5 minutes, give us a little tidbit, and he would be lying in his pool on a raft with the cell phone in his head.
You know how many phones I lost? You have no idea.
Unbelievable. All right, David, listen, we love you.
One thing in closing.
Go ahead.
Helicopters, I know how dangerous they can be. And about eight years ago, you had a real bad helicopter accident with a couple of gentlemen. Helicopter crash while they were doing the traffic report.
BZ?
I don't know if it was BZ.
It wasn't BZ, David, was it? No.
Well, I don't think so. But go ahead.
Who did Red Banks work for?
I'm sorry. Say again.
Red Banks. Who did he work for?
Never heard of him.
No,
Oh, he
I
was
don't
big.
recall.
Ernie Banks,
No, red.
shortstop.
I don't even know why. But anyway, the plane crashed right outside of Quincy, and both of them died.
Tyra Banks, nice looking black girl.
Do me a favor,
All
will
right,
you?
I'm sorry. All right, David, we love you. Listen, we'd like to get you in the studio sometime, have a few laughs. We'll talk traffic. We'll talk Sicilian stuff. Your family was they were great people. Great people. Frank.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
He was such a nice guy. Such a nice guy.
I remember his mom very well.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, she's probably here behind my green backdrop. Probably listening.
Well, make sure you tell her we send her our best and wish you and really happy holidays and good luck going forward with WBZ. Dave Struff in the BZ Kota.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Take
Merry
care.
Christmas, my friend.
Dave Struffolino, good guy. You know,
He gets it.
great family too.
Oh, I know.
Great family.
Like I said, I met his mother.
Yeah.
Because we were helping out, and she'd always be doing something.
He was he was always just a nice guy. Everybody loved him.
He's a gentleman,
Yeah, he really is. Unlike some people.
unlike you.
Oh, no, I said it first. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. You know what I want to talk about?
What?
Toys. I want to talk about toys. It's not the same, I tell you. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Everything's computers.
Ciao, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
Looking for that something special? All of us here at the Sicilian Corner suggest trying Ristorante Uno, located at 119 Salem Street in Boston's historic North End. For the most exquisite dining experience in an intimate setting that serves authentic regional Italian cuisine and features old country service. Try Ristorante Uno. Did we mention their award-winning wine cellar? Ristorante Uno, 119 Salem Street in Boston's historic North End. Call 617-573-9406 for reservations. That's 617-573-9406. Tell them the boys from the Sicilian Corner sent you.
Today,
Lawrence General Hospital has affiliations with leading Boston academic medical centers. Top specialists from Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center and Floating Hospital for Children at Tufts Medical Center work with our local doctors to bring world-class care close to home. Today, amazing partnerships are happening at Lawrence General Hospital. To learn more, visit lawrencegeneral.org/today.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine each pleased to announce the opening of their American College of Radiology accredited MRI unit at their location at 16 Pelham Road in Salem, New Hampshire. So now, in addition to receiving the best orthopedic care in the Merrimack Valley, as well as physical and occupational therapy at Optima Sports Therapy and Rehab, you can also have your MRI, all in one convenient location. The doctors and staff of Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine have been dedicated to providing outstanding medical care to the Merrimack Valley in southern New Hampshire since 1984. Located on Route 97, just off Exit 2 from Route 93 North, on the second floor of the Workout Club of Salem. You deserve the best care, and that's exactly what you'll get from the board-certified surgeons at Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine. Please call 603-898-2244 to schedule an appointment.
A loyal sponsor for the Sicilian Corner is Hilton Oil Company. Hilton Oil has been located right across from the South Lawrence Common since 1932 at 101 South Union Street. Hilton Oil Company specializes in 24-hour burner service, oil deliveries, including automatic deliveries serving all the Merrimack Valley area, plus portions of southern New Hampshire. If you want your car fixed right the first time, bring it to Hilton's state-of-the-art service station. Remember, Hilton's is also a Mass State Inspection Station. Hilton Oil Company, 101 South Union Street in Lawrence. Call 978-687-9793.
This is Cindy.
And Mike Kunstler.
Owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
In addition to the spectacular views overlooking the golf course, we have an incredible new chef, Oscar Figueroa.
We still have all the favorites, but Oscar has created a lot of excitement with his new specials.
Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery tender Lazy Man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
We are back. Mikey, tell us about our good friends at Butcher Boy. By the way, this is really cool. I'm serious.
Where's the porter?
No,
I'm waiting.
There is no porter. That is one cool top. You look kind of sexy, actually. I've been sick, remember?
No, more importantly, Alan's been sick. That's the key to all of this. You know something, T? Christmas, we mentioned this last week. We were talking.
I wasn't here.
Put your orders in. You can just get it in now, I think, just barely under the line.
Yeah.
But people want to know, like, what roast? What should I buy? What's this? What's that? Everybody's taste is different. But
rump roast. Rib roast.
Well, myself, a tenderloin is the easiest roast to
cook.
Tenderloin. Beef tenderloin. That's the easiest.
There's no bone in it, correct?
There's no bone. There's no waste.
Nice
there's no
and tender.
Fat.
Beautiful.
But if you're 80 years old, it's good. You don't need teeth to eat it, But as far as flavor, nothing. Zero.
So what do you go with?
Myself, I like a rib. Some people don't because there's too much fat to it. But there's a roast that speaks by itself. But I'll tell you what's very, very popular and gaining is the strip loin. Get a strip roast. It's club steak. You heard of club steak?
And you can get these all at Butcher Boy.
Oh, absolutely. But I'll tell you, the strip has got very little waste running through it. It's got a cap, a layer of fat over the top. What's that?
Nose spray.
What is it?
Nose spray.
Why are you showing me that now?
Because I'm using it in between commercials. So I don't.
So you have to show it now?
Well, I forgot to.
Anyway, there's this cap. If you're looking for a nice roast, a nice easy roast to cook, and it doesn't take much to prepare it, let me tell you, think about the strip. And the strip comes from the loin of the animal. You've heard of T-bone. You've heard of porterhouse. This comes from the same exact. You bone out a loin. Now you got the club sirloin and you got the tenderloin.
Can you keep the bone? If you have a dog?
Yeah, you can, but I wouldn't recommend it. It may splinter because it's a long bone.
Oh, so you can't give the bone to a dog.
But the story is, and I know you asked me about this before, should I use a wet rub or a dry rub?
I personally, I don't like the wet rub. It's too messy. I like a nice dry rub.
A dry rub for a roast like a strip loin you're going to do in the oven.
Makes it too dry?
No.
Oh,
it's good.
Yeah, that's
good.
That's what I thought.
The wet you should use for something like that's cut off the forequarter of the animal, whether it be the chuck or a shoulder, anything that's going to require slow cooking for a long period of time. Then you use the wet. But other than that, on a rib, if you need to, use a dry rub, and you can mix stuff up. And you know what goes good in your mix is coffee grinds.
Yeah, I've tried that. I don't like it.
Really?
No.
I mean, a roast should speak for itself, but some people are determined they want to do something. Anyway, the Butcher Boy.
Camp.
Anything?
Do you know what camp is?
What is it?
Camp.
Camp?
C-A-M-P. It's a seasoned salt. Camp is very good. You like camp?
I like the Himalayan salt.
I do like the
No,
camp
I love camp. I use camp on everything.
C-A-M-P?
C-A-M-P. I use it on everything. Everything.
I never heard of it.
I use it.
Is it a thick crystal?
No,
Is it small?
it's like it looks.
Is it like a sea salt?
Yeah, except it's like regular salt, except it's not.
Camp.
Camp. C-A-M-P.
Never heard of it.
Well, I use it instead of
David,
salt.
you have? Huh. Well, anyway.
All right, listen. So Osgood Street, North Andover,
Yeah,
Butcher
right.
Boys. Tell them Mike
Lake
and
of
Tom
Chickwood.
sent you.
Go in, see Pamela. Pamela will take good care of you. My friend Tommy Amin just headed south. He's in Florida right now.
Good for him.
And I was hoping you would be gone by now.
No,
too.
I'm leaving January 5th, and you're going to miss me.
That's late.
You're going to miss me.
That's late.
No,
You're
it isn't
crazy.
late.
Don't rush back.
I'm coming back the middle of April. I may stay till September. All right, just telling you right now.
Why don't you stay for the feast? Come back in September.
Maybe. Hey, listen, I want to get your opinion, David, on this too. Chrissy, you're a little young.
How dare you, sir?
When we were growing up, I mean, the toys today versus the toys that
Why don't
existed.
you put a year associated with what?
1950s, 1960s.
That's good.
Right, and even into the early 70s.
Mid-50s.
But yeah, mid-50s, 60s. You know, the toys that we had were very simple. But
I know what toys you had.
well, but
not age.
you know, you think about
Hoop and a stick.
Slinky, Slinky.
Rock.
Remember, you know what a Slinky is?
Yeah.
A Slinky
That wasn't in your era.
That's classic.
certainly was.
Was it really?
Slinky was in the 50s and 60s. Absolutely. We used to get Slinky
Stick and ball.
We used to get one Slinky a year. How about the Duncan Yo-Yo?
The Duncan Company used to send somebody around to the grammar schools in Lawrence, David.
Really?
And
good.
he would put on a class. A professional. And, you know, walk the dog around the world. All those games. It was amazing. Like my yo-yo, I put like studs in them, like false diamonds in them, so the thing would light up, and it would be so cool. That thing would be twisting around.
I'll tell you what, that was a quality. I think they still make Duncan Yo-Yos.
They do.
But when I was a kid, that was such a everybody
You had
had
the
a yo.
sleeper?
Everybody had a yo-yo in their pocket.
Everybody
walked around with a freaking yo-yo in their pocket.
and a
But
small switchblade.
How about some of
now it's the phone.
It's the phone. How about some of the politically would today be considered politically incorrect toys? I.e., I loved my Mattel 6-shooter with the holster, right? And it had rubber bullets. It had rubber bullets and the greenie stickum caps.
Yep.
That
It had the roll.
They had the caps that you could put on the
roller.
bullet.
Yeah.
Or the roll, but the greenie ones were the individual
Yeah,
ones.
I know. You could
What
put it on
about the
the front.
toy bow and arrow?
Oh God, yeah.
My wife has a cousin who
Lost
shot an eye out.
Yeah, of course.
His brother went ting, right in the eye.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, just like the commercial.
But things were so different back then. I mean, you're talking about being politically correct. For my eighth year,
You got a gun.
I got a BB gun.
Right.
I got a Daisy.
Do they? I mean, can you buy a BB gun today for a kid? Is that?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know what the age is. There an age? I mean, parents buy kids stuff all the time.
I mean, I had the whole Davy Crockett outfit when I was a kid. The coonskin cap, the long flintlock.
You know, there's almost 10 years difference between you and I. Cowboys. Was Cowboys still the rage when
When you had
your
Hopalong Cassidy, right?
I had Hopalong Cassidy. The Lone Ranger
I had
was my
Roy-
favorite.
I had Roy Rogers.
When I was a kid, I used to go to bed early because I wanted to listen to all the like the Lone Ranger, the Cisco Kid. They were on radio. They were 15-minute segments.
And then you would
and
buy
I would
their
jump in
toys.
bed and listen to these guys.
And you would buy their toys.
I would buy, yeah.
Right?
But the biggest, I think my number one prize for Christmas, we talked about this before. We were on Essex Street, walking down the street, looking at the windows for Christmas time, and we passed the Lionel train set at Treat Hardware. And I said to my dad, I must have been like 6, 7 maybe.
He bought you one?
Dad, I'd like something like that. And don't you think?
You know what those are worth today?
I auctioned mine off. I sold it at an auction. You know what they
How
told
long ago?
Mike Bida. You remember Mike?
Sure. How long ago?
1997.
All right. So you know what that thing would be worth today?
Well,
what did you get for it then? May I ask?
Let me just tell you the story first. I wanted to sell it as a whole unit because I had everything. Tom, I had the bridge that went up. I had a milk car, the barrels would shake. And I had the original boxes.
Wow.
The original boxes. And it would fill up a table. I had it in the bedroom. It took up 3/4 of the bedroom, okay? You know what Mike said to me? We're not selling it as a unit.
Sell them individually?
We're going to sell them individually. And I sat there, my mouth open, listening to these people bid on those items. My brother was in shock. He couldn't believe it.
That's amazing.
It really was.
So we used to buy we didn't have the money that the Lamazos had. So we used to my father bought us the American Flyer trains, which was the cheaper version. It was like the Chevy.
Okay.
But that's what we had. The American But you know what, Mike?
All the wires went underneath the table.
Oh, good.
And then I had the false mountains and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this thing I loved it.
What would that be worth now? Do you know?
The American Flyer?
No, his setup.
Thousands.
Well, I got thousands.
Thousands. Like, I don't know, 5, 6 grand.
I had a transformer that didn't even work. The thing is too old.
Yeah, no, those things are very
They paid
bad.
like $800 for it. Why?
Very, very. Remember Erector sets?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't do much with it.
What about
I think my brother Bob did.
Yeah.
See, Bob and you were kind of the same age.
Yeah, Erector sets were big when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I could
Lincoln
use an
Logs.
erector set
Lincoln
now.
Logs was another one. My favorite toy, you may not have ever heard of it. It was called Robot Commando.
No.
It was this robot about this big, right? And it used to fire off its arms ping pong balls. And you had a microphone that you could control it to fire, but the microphone never worked. It was a scam. But anyways, that was my favorite. And then the other thing is, how many, over the years that you were a kid, little toy soldiers, Native Americans, right? And you know what we used to do, my brother and I? We used to take them, we used to put them on the radiator and watch them melt.
Nice.
You know, you're not right.
That's what we used to do.
You're not right.
And then the other thing that we were very, very, another thing that Al and I used to do, my father used to go down to, we used to go down to what was the name of the Modelers Haven?
Oh, sure.
Modelers Haven
Yeah.
down on Park Street.
Yep.
And we buy model cars. And we'd put a
And
model.
airplanes.
Yeah, the airplanes once in a while, but we buy a model car. And then we had a long dining room table. And I would sit on one end of the dining room table with my car, and Al would sit on the other end, and we'd have demolition derby after we put them together, where we'd smash them so that whoever's car was standing was the winner. Then you took all the broken pieces, glued it back together, and then you'd buy another car and soup it up. Oh, yeah, that's what we used to do. Very destructive.
I was into the
Very
planes.
destructive.
I was into the planes. I loved it. I loved painting them. I loved putting the
Planes were good.
decals on them. It was great. I must have had about 20 of them. In my room, they'd be hanging from the ceiling, coming down. I had them all over the place.
Those are
You
beautiful.
bang your head.
Aurora.
Huh.
Aurora.
Yeah.
You know what else and I still have them? They're in a closet up in my office. I bought, when I was a kid, I must have been about 6th grade. I bought one a month. Remember the Aurora monsters, Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Superman,
Yeah.
Dracula, the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I have every one of those.
Oh, wow.
I painted them, meticulously painted them. Some of them have broken pieces now. But those things today, not assembled, in the box are worth thousands of dollars each.
Funny, huh?
Thousands of dollars. I paid like $1.69 for it. You know, but they're very, very, very.
I just
very
want to
rare.
get back to the train set, the line-out train set. My mom had 3 sisters, the Messina sisters. There were 4 of them. And between every birthday and every Christmas, the only thing they would give me, which was a lot, would be a pot to that train set.
That's cool.
So through
Very
the
cool.
years, I mean, I developed this whole freaking thing. But when I went to that auction, I sat
So
there.
what was the bottom line
What?
on the auction? How much did you get for the whole thing?
I don't remember.
More than 4,000?
How much?
More than 5,000? That's a home run. You hit a home run.
No, you have no idea.
Really?
Yeah. My brother says, I don't effing believe it.
See, that's how it's going to be with my cards, my card collection someday. I hope.
No. You know, and I hope you're here to see it.
So do I. What about
Because that ash, you don't. I'm a little concerned.
Are you freaking kidding me?
You don't look good.
Is that a nice thing to say?
I'm worried.
Can I tell you something?
Are you going to leave me anything?
No. First of all,
Are you going to leave me anything?
I don't put makeup on like you. That's number one.
I don't have freaking
You're
makeup.
such a
You
liar.
horses patoot.
You are such a liar. I know you wear makeup because you're always tanned. Unless you like sit under a light bulb, you're always tanned. That's number one.
It comes from eating whatever you want.
Is that what it is?
That's what. Cholesterol be damned.
Really?
That's what
All
I
right,
say.
a couple of more. Etch-a-Sketch. Remember Etch-a-Sketch?
Vaguely.
Yes,
David?
absolutely. That's a
Chrissy?
sketch.
Etch-a-Sketch?
Oh, I'm allowed to chime in now. I'm not too young anymore.
Oh, jeez.
I remember everything you have mentioned.
Pickup sticks.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, pickup sticks. I forgot about that.
What
Wait
was
a
pickup
second.
sticks?
See,
when you were a kid, you had Barbie dolls. Did you guys have Barbie dolls? Wait a minute.
they had Aussie Barbie dolls.
Aussie Barbie dolls?
Yeah.
Barbie dolls?
Barbie.
Like
Barbie.
Not Barbie dolls?
No, Barbie dolls.
They weren't called Barbie.
What were they called?
I didn't really play with Barbie dolls.
You didn't?
No, I didn't. Not really. I was more of a trains and farm animals kind of girl.
You know what the most...
Foreshadowing, you see. My sister said, I always knew you weren't going to be into having kids because they would all play baby dolls, and I'd be like, meh. I'd be over there with the farm animals. And
That's funny.
I'm
I
the
love
animal
it.
girl.
You know
Yep,
what?
and trains. I really liked trains.
Trains are good.
I know the electric, the really cool old, so these were my grandfather's ones
that's
as
what
well.
he
The
had.
old electric train sets and stuff. Oh my God, I could spend hours building the tracks and
You know what the most
loved it.
Overhyped toy in my life when growing up, and it's still popular, and they marketed it so many different ways that you could lose weight, the hula hoop. The hula hoop is such a boring toy, right?
Is it because you can't do it?
No, I could do it. Every little kid can do it, but there was
No, they
always
can't. I could never do it. I've never been able to do it, so don't you.
there
put
was
your
just so
judgment on
much.
me.
You could,
You
yeah,
could
there
do
was
it?
just so much you could do with the. You put it around your neck.
Oh well, if that counts as doing it, then yes, I
no,
could
you
do
put
it.
it
I could
around
also
your
do
waist,
it around my wrist.
then
I was
you
very.
could
I was
flip it and it'd
multi-talented.
come back to you, but it was a boring.
But I could never
You
get
found
it.
that, Bora?
Yeah. You like
How
the
much
hula hoop?
money did they? It
Oh,
wasn't
my
my
God.
favorite thing. But I'm glad you remembered the Duncan yo-yos. I'm glad you brought that up because that brought. I hadn't thought about that for years.
Absolutely.
And when that guy used to come into the school, we'd be in the auditorium.
He used to wear the little hat. He used to wear a little cap. The guy that did the commercials did a cap. Always wore like a little fedora. He used to wear a little fedora, and then he'd be flipping with both hands. Unbelievable. By the way, I was a pretty good Duncan guy. I could do around the world.
Right. Walk the dog.
Walk the dog. Rock the baby.
Baby. Yeah.
I used to be able to do that.
That was hot.
I know.
That was hot.
Yep. You had to have a good sleeper.
Yeah.
You had to have a good sleeper. And the key to a good sleeper was the string. The string. You couldn't let you had to make sure that the string was more loose than tight. I know my Duncan yo-yos. All right, we're going to take a quick break.
I'm impressed, brother.
We come back. Mikey has a couple of bitches that he wants to talk about.
I'd like to talk about how bad the Patriots are. That's what I'd like to talk about. What a disgusting team.
Excuse me. They won. All right? Don't be knocking the New England Football Patriots. They won.
They're awful.
Wow.
They're awful.
That's strong.
I thought the Army-Navy game was bad this weekend until I watched that Patriots game last night.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
This is David from the Sicilian Corner. You know, Mike, Tom, and I love to go to Salisbury Beach, but we love different things and can never agree where to go. Tom likes the casual family-style dining with the great Italian cuisine. Capri's Seaside Italian Kitchen and Pizzeria. Me? I love the elegant romantic vibes Sea Glass with the amazing view and terrific menu with prices that make it the place you want to visit each and every week. Mike loves a drink in his hand and a cool ocean breeze right off the surf and the rhythms of a cooler reggae band. We all know Mike loves Bob Marley tunes at Surfside. Who doesn't love a great show? National acts, comedy, regional favorites in the beautiful and intimate Blue Ocean Concert Hall. Lucky for us, Atlantic Hospitality is the host of all of these great places, and they treat everyone like they are Mike Lamazzo. Best of all, we never have to choose. Park the car once and all this fun is right at your fingertips. You can have it all in the heart of Salisbury Beach. Find out all the ways you can have a great night at Salisbury Beach at northshorepavilion.com. And Mike, Tom, and I will see you there.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
Hi, this is Mike, and I would like to tell you about the Deborah Care Law Offices, a firm that is focused on estate planning, probate, trust administration, and elder law issues. You will feel comfortable discussing important issues concerning both you and your loved ones, as well as having the information you need to make an informed decision about your family's future. How do I know? Because I'm a client of Dan Deborah Care. If you want to have peace of mind knowing that your loved ones are protected, call Deborah Care Law Offices today. In Massachusetts, 978-686-4645. In New Hampshire, 603-894-4141.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
This is Cindy,
And Mike Kunstler.
owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazia Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazia Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
In addition to the spectacular views overlooking the golf course, we have an incredible new chef, Oscar Figueroa.
We still have all the favorites, but Oscar has created a lot of excitement with his new specials.
Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery, tender, lazy man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazia Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazia Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
That was an interesting break.
It was. It was fun.
We went
Toe-to-toe.
all over.
But sometimes you get a little rambunctious.
I get in rambunctious?
Absolutely.
Did you watch that game last night?
I honestly?
Yesterday afternoon? Whatever it was.
Last
night.
I was in bed because I'm fighting a flu and I'm getting no sympathy from any one of the three of you, but that's okay. We'll let that fly.
First of all, I don't even think you should be here today.
I'll let
looking
that
the way
fly.
you look.
But
if you get stopped, if a cop stops you, they're going to call, I'm telling you, they're going to call an ambulance.
I'll make a deal with you. Next time I get sick and I see a bunch of flowers turn up on my doorstep with your name on it, I'll give you all the sympathy in the world next time you're sick.
That's fair. Last night, when he threw the interception,
it was more than just that, Tom.
No, I shut it off. I went to bed because I was.
You can't get the calls in. You have to take a timeout. You come back in the half. You're 2 minutes into the half. You have to call timeout because your offensive coordinator isn't giving you a play.
Well, I shut it off.
The whole system is completely screwed up.
I filled up my humidifier, cleaned it, filled it up, went on YouTube for a few minutes, and do you know what Gua Sha is? Anybody know what Gua Sha is?
Say it again.
Gua Sha, Guasha.
Is it a fruit?
No, it's an old Chinese method of it's called scraping. I bought a Gua Sha tool.
Of course you have.
I did. And the massage cream. You should check it out. It's very interesting. I think you would get into it.
I know what scraping is, but you had to give it its original name. I was like, I don't know
it's
what
Chinese. It's Gua Sha.
Okay.
Very interesting. Very interesting concept, and it has helped me with my RA in certain places on my arm and my neck here. I won't get into it.
Is it to do with pressure points?
Kind of, sort of. What it is you can buy a scraping tool. It's not sharp, and you put the massage cream on it, and you scrape where it's hurting you. And
I know, but why?
These
why
red
that particular
blotches.
spot?
These red blotches, because that's the weak point. These red blotches show up in your neck. It's called petechia, and it looks almost like you got a hickey. But what you've done is supposedly you've brought you're getting fresh blood into there now. And that it goes away, and it really, really helps.
It's a similar theory, like with the cupping or the acupuncture.
Exactly.
You're irritating the area, and then it'll make so you're irritate the blood cells. You get fresh blood.
I think there's
coming to the
definitely
area
a place for acupuncture. I really do.
Yeah, this is
not a fan.
not.
I've had it. I don't.
Yeah, I'm not a big.
Cupping is amazing. I highly recommend.
Humping?
Yes, that's fun too. Cupping.
Oh, cupping.
Cupping.
Well, cupping is the same concept.
I mean, that also brings pleasure in a different way.
But the only
anyway,
problem
with
the only problem with the cupping is that you really don't look well after the cupping.
I think it's amazing. It's a much more aggressive version of what you're saying.
I know it is.
And you only look as bad as the first. I've had it done multiple times. If I continually get it done, you look worse You look less worse each time. The first time, it looks like you've been attacked by like a squid in the ocean, giant purple
blotches on your back.
But then you go a couple more times and they're like dark red, then they're lighter red.
David, check it out. Called Gua Sha.
Yeah.
Tom, I'm surprised that a lot of insurances don't pick up acupuncture. I wish
a lot of them do now, though, Mikey.
Yeah, but
you like the acupuncture?
Yeah, I don't
you
either.
Like the acupuncture?
I think there's a place for it.
Yeah.
There is.
I think going back in civilization. I think there's definitely a place for it.
Does Squanto use it?
Yeah,
he did.
Squanto actually had a degree in it.
Did he?
He was the first acupuncturist in Plymouth.
Why did you bring that up?
Because Squanto gets a raw deal, just like Christopher Columbus. He's getting screwed. After 500 and something years, they're trying to judge somebody. You know something? This politically correct BS is crazy. It's nutty. It's nutty. What are you pointing at?
No, number 3, you're making a point. How come good news never gets highlighted and only bad news makes the headlines?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Now, if I can find it, I'll tell you all about it.
He's so professional.
I'll come across it.
It'll happen. We got another 10 minutes.
The Patriots. Getting back to the Patriots.
That's not bad
He's
news.
not going to let this go.
The Patriots
suck.
Forget football. I'm talking about Bob Kraft, the owner. All right? God bless him. I love the guy. I really do. But did you see this in the paper? Did you see this in WBZ radio? Did you see this anywhere?
See what?
I'm going to tell you. Wait a minute. Give me a chance here.
How can he tell you if he saw it?
The Patriots loaned out the team plane to the University of Virginia football flag.
I knew that.
Well, you knew it, but a lot of people didn't.
Which was a beautiful gesture.
So that they could attend the funeral of those kids, the three teammates who passed away November 13th.
I saw that.
And you know something? Those kids were shot, killed, and in memory, Kraft turned around and says, I'm going to give you a plane. You can fly your families.
He also did it a couple of other times.
Yeah.
He's loaned his plane.
But, I mean, this is just an example. Why don't you put it somewhere so you can see it? Not on page 18.
You know why? Because bad news sells. Unfortunately, and I agree with you 100%. I am so sick of, and you know me with my news. I love reading the news.
I know you do.
But what I do is I mix it up. I go from Fox to CNN,
which you have to,
right to left, to New York Post, to Boston Globe, to Washington Times, Washington Post, to the Atlantic. They all suck.
So you have a lot of time in your hands to do that.
Well, no, I do.
How the hell you do?
I read it on the internet.
Yeah, I know, but still, you have to.
Well, if I'm on the John, You know, if you're on the John, I mean,
how
do you
about
read
the-
on the John, you guys? Yeah.
No.
David, once in a while, your phone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chrissy, never?
No.
Mikey?
I take the newspaper.
You make
See,
your day
What am I
old
going to do? I'm going to
school,
bring the
old school.
tablet with me and sit there. It's not the same. A nice newspaper, you sit there, you read the sports, you look at the standing. Speaking of which.
Then, if you run out of toilet paper,
You're all set.
You're good.
Multi-purpose.
You're good.
Mac Jones, when he got fined. Did you know about that?
Yeah.
All he did was flick the ball.
I know.
He flicked the ball, and they fined him $10,000?
4,000.
10,000.
I thought it was 47.
10,609.
Really?
Unsportsmanlike conduct. All right? And then by comparison, the Bills safety, he gets fined $4,806
Oh, that's who I thought.
for a late hit on a helmet.
And the guy's out.
And the guy's been out.
Yeah.
This kid, Mac, throws the ball up in the air. It hits one of the players, and they fine him $10,000.
So, I mean, but-
$10,609.
Don't you think that bad news sells?
Of course it does.
Right? I mean, I find it frustrating, but the worse the news, the more people read it.
Of course, because that gives them something to whine about.
But
I know we don't.
You know what would be kind of cool? Is there any newspapers or news outlets that it's just good news?
They don't sell. We have to get somebody on. Maybe next year we'll zoom somebody in that can, like a psychotherapist or something, will tell us why we love bad news.
David, what would you think is the number one meal served at Christmas time in the United States?
I know.
Chinese food?
Huh?
Chinese food?
Chinese food?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chinese food is very popular with the Jewish. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, the Chinese restaurants do fantastic. What do you think the number one is?
I was going to say Chinese, too.
Christmas I'm talking about, not New Year's.
Oh, Christmas.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Why do I come up here and
steak?
The only one that makes sense in this room is you.
Steak.
Jesus.
I would think it would have been roast beef.
Paul?
You know what it is? It's freaking turkey.
Again?
Oh. I thought it was a trick question.
We already did that.
Well, you know why?
It's a
But
trick
you know
question.
why?
You tricked us.
Price.
No, because it's leftover from Thanksgiving.
No.
They freeze it, and then they thaw it out.
I would have never
A whole
in a
turkey?
million years thought that number one would be turkey.
You know what I
Oh, we
made
do in
last night?
But in
Australia.
certain parts of the country, like in the South,
I like turkey.
But we don't have Thanksgiving in Australia, so we do turkey as Christmas. So.
Oh, you do?
But we don't do Thanksgiving.
Because
so
the turkeys in Australia are pretty scrawny, aren't they?
I don't know.
Are they plump like the
where
ones
are
we
you
have?
getting this from?
Because Australia, it's too big. They
Australia
roam. They
is
lose
beautiful.
weight when they're roaming.
I'd love to go to Australia.
No?
He just makes that. We should just do a whole show like "Not Real Facts" by Tom Zappala.
But a good story.
Yeah,
If he doesn't know, pulls it
Run
down
with it,
from
baby.
somewhere.
Run with it.
Run with it.
Listen, next week we have a special show that we're very excited about. It's our Christmas show, and last year we had Sal the Elf in, and by popular demand, we are bringing Sal the Elf back to join us in studio.
But he's relocated.
He has relocated. We're going to talk about all that next week. Sal's going to be joining us next week. You okay?
I'm all right.
Behind the scenes, David just punched the desk. If you're wondering why Tom's laughing.
Ouch.
I got a problem.
And Sal's great. We love Sal. He's going to be sitting in between
I don't know.
us. I think he's got issues.
I don't know.
He's got issues, yeah.
He does. He has issues.
Well, elves, they've been through the ringer.
What are you going to say, huh?
He's a little handsy.
Is he?
He's a little handsy.
He's a
Like the other guy?
The other guy.
The other guy to the other show?
What other guy did out of show?
Nothing.
Oh, God, no. Let's not go there.
Teasing. I'm teasing.
To live in your brain for 5 minutes would be so interesting.
That's what people
You'd be
tell
so
me.
confused.
That's what people tell
Be
me.
confused.
I mean, I already am on the outside. Imagine being in there.
Yeah, that's true.
People tell me that.
Yeah,
My mind does work a little strange. I admit it.
You go from one thing to another, and you don't put in a comma, nothing. It just keeps going.
Absolutely.
One direction changes direction.
No doubt.
So you have to really pay attention.
Yeah. I think it's the term, there's like a clinical term for it.
ADD?
It's verbal diarrhea. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay.
Wow, that hurts.
Ah.
All right, listen, we're just about out of time. Thanks to Dave Struffolino. It was great seeing David.
Good people.
Mikey,
Great.
good luck at Encore. tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to
Don't
If
forget
I need any more luck?
Bring the shoebox with you with the thousands that's already in it.
Right.
Make sure you bring it.
Do me a favor, will you?
The truth.
They asked me if I wanted to go down and help out today to put the presents together, food baskets together.
Where?
At the Encore. Yeah.
Why don't you do it?
I couldn't because I got the show.
Okay.
Number one, I was either that or leave you alone, and in your condition, I didn't want to leave you in case something happened.
I appreciate the support from the three of you during my moment in time of illness.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it tremendously. So with that being said, I am now going to take out my nose spray. I'm not going to use it. I love you.
Goodness.
Love you. Love you guys. As always, great job. And remember, if you can't make fun of yourself, please don't make fun of anyone. Have a great week.
Take care, everybody.
Audio Jungle.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.